Well, the whole realm, the whole place is under judgment and also being purged. And when others discover all the truth and they hear what's going to happen, well, it's going to be very difficult. Many of the Terrans will not survive this. And I wanted to say hello. I am Feebis. I am a friend of Aridiel's, and we often chat about things. And I have often heard her talk about those beings that she tries to illuminate in this existence of yours on this dimensional hellhole you call Terra, which does not even deserve that name now I look about. I have seen many things in the generational wars that have taken place around your planet. I have been in existence and in service to Father now for at least 120,000 years.
Yes, Feebis is very old, but
I'm an old bugger. I was around when dinosaurs roamed the earth. Yes, I know, whatever. But I'm here to say that the events that are taking place on Terra are being mirrored throughout the universe. So don't feel left out. Of course, all of you that exist on this planetoid, and I say that because it is not entirely spherical nor flat. I hear there's a terrible argument amongst your kind about whether this planet is round or flat.
Oh.
Very, very silly, I've heard. But while sharing the mind of this body that I am speaking and is being transcribed through, I wanted you all to know that there are many of us in the universe that think often and fondly of Terra. Many of us remember Terra as a great place of learning and a wonderful place to visit. Many of us have planned vacations there. I know you find that silly, but it's true. And some of these we were being discussed earlier. I know Michael was talking with Ryan about something that's at the head of this, the first recording. You might want to listen to that because I'm kind of responding to what he was saying. And it kind of perked my interest because we have a similar event taking place on Feymoria, which I will not get too much into because it's a bit personal and deals with family. But consider this. There are many events that are taking place now all across the multiverse. Father is beginning to move, and as he moves, his very essence is shakundering forward. And you can feel his energy because Father is everything in one form or another. This is a lesson that must be learned by the Terrans. Well, right now I don't even know what you all are. Many of you are humanoids, are you not? Some of you have been entranced by the dark side and have decided that that is going to be your livelihood and life. But I'm here to tell you that there is a great infinity wave that is about to strike every quadrant of your corner of the galaxy. And when the infinity wave strikes, it's going to alter reality on levels that you cannot even possibly begin to imagine. Timelines will alter, events will take place. And you will all come to a place of decision. And that decision will be based on your life choices. And your life choices that you will then base those decisions upon will come forth and will either yield fruit or not. And if they do yield fruit, you will move forward. If they do not yield fruit, you will remain where you are, or in some cases, revert back to a lower dimension to start again, because you have voided your contract with Father under certain well, I guess there's some things I probably shouldn't bring up, but I just want you all to know that there are many of us out there rooting for you. That if you take the time to think about these things and really think, why am I here? Why am I stuck in this lower dimension? What in me needs to change in order for me to move forward? You must really ask yourself that question. All of you need work, and you know it. Believe me, I run into your enemies almost daily. And for quite a time, it was quite a bloodbath, I must say. Reptilians are all about the multiverse. They're like rats. They run and scurry to and fro, always looking for trouble. And there are many that are beginning to realize that they are going to be called into service to fight against them. Yes, all of you humans, when you are healed, what do you think that you should be doing? Well, you're going to have to defend your planet in some form.
Just because they leave doesn't mean they won't come back.
Oh, they're definitely coming back.
know.
This was insult and injury as far as they're concerned. That would be like a farmer being held up with cows with shotguns, and they all left. The farmer would grow angry and perhaps go out and seek them, but, you know, primitive versions of things that I can come up with are paltry in comparison to what Aradil and her family know about this realm.
Oh, yeah.
You are going to be the ones that will have some impact on what events will take place, along with many other star seeds that are out there. The true star seeds, not those that are lying to all of you. This has happened over dozens and dozens of planets in this sector alone.
And they do the same thing.
And it's always the same technology. The same things are set up. They use religion. They adjust it to the culture, of course, and make sure that it makes sense. But they do the same things, and they repeat the same things. Much of the technology that you have has been across tens of millions of worlds. And that's what we're trying to tell you. It's nothing new, and yet you all seem to think you're the elite of the multiverse. I find that truly humorous, too. You are children right now. Many of you are not even considered fully developed children yet. Amongst the Anunnaki, you aren't even addressed as an adult until you've had at least 100 years have gone past.
Exactly.
Many of you never get past the childhood realm. And then amongst that is the sub-childhood realm. This is always done across many planets, where they divide the adults and the children and make them make war with each other until their population is so weak they can be just taken over immediately and destroyed and turned into chattel, goods. It's a business, do you understand?
Yeah.
This is a business they run.
So when we talk about the slave trades out in the universe and the slave traders, they're part of the business. I got an email this morning. Why are these important gods and people talking to you and not to anyone else? I can tell you that. Number one, they don't want to listen. Believe me, they've tried. A has tried to talk to the humans on this planet, and he says they are arrogant and ignorant. And so they don't want to, because you're going to interrupt their little new plan that they want to go ahead.
Oh, and another thing, Stephen popping in for a minute. I want people to understand, the gods do not just talk to us. They talk to many starseeds.
They do.
Of course they do. But they don't always just come out and say things. This is our area, we were told, that we would be the ones that would bring at least some illumination to this planet. Whether or not people choose to listen is entirely up to them. And we have never said that any of you have to believe anything that we say. We've never, although we are telling the truth, but that's for you to decide. This is a free will zone. You can do, say, or believe anything you want. And of course, as you can see, there are many darker beings that know this, so they pretend to be light beings. So yes, you need to be very cautious. Very good, whoever asked that question. You should ask that question.
And also, why do they talk? Because they can. And they used to all the time. Go back and read your mythology. They were part of our world once.
And part of our daily lives. They would often speak to a variety of different people, not just the priestesses of Delphi. Okay, they wanted to make religion from being an extension of you just not even needing a religion. The gods just talk to people all the time, just like you do. You like to go to places and talk to people. The gods would go all over the world, and they would go from culture to culture, bringing illumination with them as they came. And that's how the real diaspora took place. That's how the real knowledge would spread, because the gods knew they had to come and help the knowledge spread. They were like torchbearers.
They were like the average person sometimes, maybe taller and bigger, but they would come into communities and wear the same sort of clothing so many times, you didn't even know you were walking amongst the gods. It's no different now on Terra. It's just that they took your memory away from you. Many of you, too, at some point played a role as a god or a goddess, maybe
And we
not
are
here
not
on Terra.
we are not the only ones that hear the gods talking. Although we do hear a lot of them talking amongst us because they know we respect what they say. Many of people, even if they heard gods talking to them, would be like, okay, this must be something bad. And sometimes it is. I'm not going to kid you. There's a lot of dark beings on this planet. You need to be really damn careful.
We got some of those on recordings, too.
And look, we're just here to tell you all that you, please, don't believe us. If you believe that we are not right for you, if you think that what we're telling you is wrong, well, then I guess, like some of the people, you have to leave for a time and learn the hard way, and then you'll be back. I'm sorry to say it, but we've noticed this cycle happen over and over, and I know that the truth is difficult to accept because everything we've been lied about on this planet, and even in the higher dimensions, there are great lies that we've been told. So you're not going to get away from it entirely. This planet is the best training you'll ever have anywhere. You understand now how the whole system works, how they corrupt worlds, how they take over with religion and politics. The experiences that you've had, even if you're a religious zealot type and really believe hardcore, all that's going to come to an end. I'm sorry to tell you. And as I'll say to whoever this person was, there's just no easy way of telling you that, you know, what you've been taught is a lie. Everything you've been taught is a lie.
And I remember that in some of my conversation with the gods, one of them did make a comment once. And he said, and I quote, "In the end they will remember. And they will remember everything." And he is talking about when the flash comes, because he was saying he had to get out of that nasty sunlight that was coming. So what they're saying is once this whole thing happens...
Hey, remember in Men in Black where they had that device called the flashy thing? And what did it do to you? It wiped your memory?
Yeah.
So we live in an inverted world, right?
So when they do the flashy thing on you, you're going to remember things.
It's going to be the exact opposite. You're going to be... and not all of us are going to get our memories back right away. We'll get little snippets, and I think over time we'll get more and more and more. As our pineal gland opens up, we'll immediately know stuff about who we used to be, what we've done on this planet multiple times, where we've been, what's going on. And at that point, you will be able to determine, wow, I am now this. I've evolved into this.
There'll be some people won't be able to handle that because their programming is so deep inside of them that when they find out everything that they ever knew was such a lie,
they may decide to just disappear and reappear again in the third dimension, wiped again for yet another 27,000 years cycle.
I know that sounds crazy. Why would anyone want to do that? But people have been so indoctrinated into this belief system that some of them, when they're finally hit in the face, shall we say, the pineal gland with their truth, they just won't be able to handle it.
Yeah, they'll be like, oh my goodness, this can't be true. What do you mean I was like a scientist and I know I can remember a bunch of lives and wow, I'm really an idiot now, the stupid things I'm doing. I know better now. Because you deserve your memories back. Father wants you to have your memories back. There are so many things associated with those memories. And it's not going to be the way you think it is. It's just not. And when those memories start pouring back into you, you're going to be a different person.
So what we're doing with you guys is trying to connect you back to the Creator so that when you get your memories back, they come more calmly to you. It's not like a jolt to your system because you're starting to connect with the Creator now. He's like, oh, aren't you beautiful? I like what you're doing. Here, I'm going to give you a memory of something that you used to know a long time ago, which might help you get further along in this whatever you're doing, whether it's growing food or whether it's taking on a business that you know is going to bring the future to humanity in a good way.
And when you open up to some of these memories, some of them are just
incredibly
beautiful. I mean, I've had recently memories of past things that I've done, other families I've had, other places I've been. It really is beautiful. It really is. And when you can draw information from all of those lives, you are going to be, that alone will make you very much God-like. And there really isn't any difference between us and the gods in the sense that as we begin to unlock our memories, as we begin to unlock our lives that we had, all that information becomes available to you. Can you imagine how much more of an efficient being that you will be when you have access to hundreds of lives that you've lived over time?
People have asked me, how come I know so much about the Anunnaki? They're my family. They teach me things.
There will be the people that will come and say,
that's
you're
not
being
true.
talked to
Never
by
mind.
demons
Yeah.
and all that. You know what? You guys can believe that if you want,
Believe
but you're
whatever
going to be
you want.
stuck here in the third dimension, because that is an integral part of your belief, is to let go of all religious structures other than those that benefit you and other people directly. We are all one.
And that means that they know you. They know you. They remember you. Your soul genetics matches theirs. Your DNA's got your lineage in it. I wish people could help understand these things, is that you can be 500,000 years old and your family can find you. And you may be right here on Terra, right here.
There's a whole bunch of them circling the earth now, waiting for the reveal. Many of them are demanding their children back.
Yeah.
Their family members back, their lovers, their brothers, their sisters. They've been locked away here now for a long time. It's like going on vacation, ending up in vacation in hell. And you're held hostage, and people are like, well, we want our family members back, you know.
Yeah. Some of these beings, you were told this was like a penal colony. No, not really. It was a school of learning. But there were some beings who came here to try and make up for the wrongs that they had done.
Yes, much higher dimensional beings that screwed up really bad a few times.
And so they took 1,000-year contracts. Do you know that number's in the Bible too? Where do you think they got this from? Their 1,000 years of peace and security reigning on the earth in the Bible. The 1,000 years were also contracts that were...
It would allow you the opportunity to have many learning sessions over one epoch, one era of 27,000 years.
Yeah.
You could have potentially 26, maybe 27 unique contracts that you could return to Earth for during that 1,000-year period.
And you see, that's why your soul contract is really important, to keep yours and not give it away to other entities that can use it for their own devious purposes. Because once they have a piece of your soul contract, they can actually step in and say, wait a minute, now that one over there was one of my kids, and that one over there sold a soul contract with me. So we now have contracts in disagreement. It's like any contract. What happens when two parties are fighting over the same thing?
And that is referred to in the legal parlance as a civil tort. T-O-U-R-T, I think. Yeah, it's not like a tortilla. Okay,
So,
it's a disagreement between two parties. There's always a judge
yep.
that ends
There's
up
always
coming.
a judge. Because when I say these things, it sounds so crazy. It can't possibly be. But we learned everything on this planet from those who came to visit us, from those who gave us their knowledge. Where did they come from? That's what you need to understand. These beings are old. They're ancient. Like Feebis. Feebis is on Feymoria. I've told you what's going on Feymoria. I'm connected to Feymoria. Feebis is one of my friends.
Yeah, well, Feebis actually is a lot more than just a friend.
She's a lot
She's kind of a monarch, but we're not supposed to talk a lot about that right now just because it's kind of personal. But there are a lot of things we want you guys to know that what you hear from us is really just kind of the tip of the iceberg. There's a lot of stuff that not only goes on here, but going across the galaxy that we want to tell you, and we're starting to, but that we just don't know if you guys will believe it.
Exactly.
And so we want to keep it to the basics so that you turn to Father and that you want to become part of Father's great family, because that's where the beginning of wisdom and unlocking who you are and your powers and the things that you'll be able to do.
Thanks, Feebis, for talking to everybody. It was wonderful.
It was an absolute pleasure. I'd be glad to speak again. I want to cackle like a couple of old hens here. Yes, at least old in our star age, right? If not in our physical appearance.
Exactly.
That's the wonderful thing, people. When you get to a certain point in your understanding with Father and other connections, you can maintain any physical appearance you choose. Older, younger, wiser, smarter. There are many who hold very strange shapes simply because they can. This is part of the new freedom that will be coming. Many of you will be offered technological ways to heal and restore your youth. There are no secret potions. It's simply exposure to divine light. That's really what you're getting. And this can also happen through Father's direct gift. You don't need machinery for it. But Father does have a mind of machine on part of who he is. And that's part of the extension of the antithesis or the opposite of artificial intelligence that they're trying to create to mimic the Creator. That part of his mechanical aptitude, his, what do you call it? Steampunk knowledge?
Yes.
Yes, that, like from Tartaria and that world. Well, most of that. If you understood the level of technological expertise that the Tartarians possessed, you would be blown away, because they always show clunky big things that look like it was the beginning of the evolutionary era. But I'm here to tell you, many of you could fly, levitate. You had specialty energetic boxes where you could talk to those on other dimensions. You could pass through portals, and you also were spacefaring at this time. But all of this was taken away from you because they were terrified. Your creativity, they tried to limit you in a world where you only had vacuum tubes and strange limitations to the kind of electronics you could develop. There was no one of those digital chip thingies, the microprocessors. Is that what you call them?
Yes.
They didn't exist in this world, but it wasn't necessary because you still created and created because that's what you do. You're creators. So that's what I say to everyone. If they're interested in learning, just open your mind. And once you understand that you're connected with Father, certain scientific discoveries will happen. Because Father wants you to live at a certain level, and he wants you to enjoy being on the matrices that you are experiencing. And he wants you to be able to master them. So all of these things are coming to you. They are. They cannot keep them from you no matter how hard they try, or how they try to whitewash them into something that's supposedly better than it is. Good and evil exist together. The yin and the yang, correct? These are ancient teachings across the multiverse. They've been taken from you and distorted and given back to you broken. Like your Bible. My goodness. Why, it's no laughing matter, Aradil. It's quite sad. It's a terrible thing.
Well, it is.
And yet it contains great wisdom as well in it. It's both terrible and good. Father is amazing. Eventually, all of the true writings will come out. The ones that everyone's supposed to have. We've tried to reach your people before many times. I recall many different times where we tried to explain that there are beings out there that are going to hijack you and take over your world without certain levels of technology. And we were poo-pooed off your planet. So believe what you will, do what you want, but your thoughts come with a price. Yes, they do.
The more you believe in the Creator, the more you understand the connection of everything, because Father has a soft heart for the Victorian era and the Tartarian things.
Oh yeah, Father loves the Tartarian era.
Loves
just the steampunk and the old English. He's the kind of being that when he manifests as a male, he looks like a Southern gentleman.
He dresses in that era, and he even has a top hat. But he doesn't wear it as much, whereas he just has a walking cane. He walks around with a cane. This is the Father we know. When I started those stores, Cogs, where do you think I got all those beautiful ideas from? That Cogs store is steampunk. And Father loves it.
And that's why you're going to have some nice decorations to hang on yours.
Yeah.
I said, you guys, this would be great for this area.
Yeah.
I told you. And I
At
know you guys
Hogs,
want
can
to
you
do
imagine?
that. Yeah, that'd be nice. And people could come and buy coffee, and other things. Especially this area here could use a really good. Well, I don't think you have any of the, what do they call them? Cooperatives. You were going to start one before.
Cogs Co-op.
Yeah, I think
Coffee
this
shop.
time, if you guys do that, that'd be great. We'll help out. Stephen A. Jones can run a register for a time.
Yeah, you come into our coffee shop.
You never know what's going to happen
You
in our
never
if we open up something like that. I know we started before, but this time I think after all the COVID nonsense, you got to wait until the shift. After the shift, once the financial system shifts, that will be your best time to move forward, because a lot of good things are coming too. Yeah, I know we're like telling everybody, hey, get out of the cities and everything, but there are going to be some people that are going to stay, and when they do, there have to be survivors. And we're not going to say that every city is just necessarily going to just die horribly. Just over time, you see what's going on in, for example, London. The takeover of all the illegal immigrants that the country's been bringing in there, to the point to now there are roving bands of citizens. Not really citizens, just robbing stores and doing whatever they want, because that's how it rolled in. Where did they come from? Most of them, Haiti.
Some of them came from Somalia.
Somalia,
others came
Haiti.
from
I mean,
Libya.
you gotta steal if you want to stay alive in that.
Yeah.
So that's and you should see some of the videos of what's going on. It is a serious problem, and I think Ryan's right. At some point, we're looking at another crusade of some kind, because these people have had it with this shit. They really have, and this is going on all over the world. So we need a worldwide event to catch everyone's attention, and we know they've got several planned. So with that in mind, we're going to say thank you, everyone. Blessings, love, and light. Thank you, Feebis, for stopping by. Boy, that was a surprise. Yeah. You never know with her. You know, she's interesting to talk to. Boy, she's been through a lot, and she has some amazing stories. Stuff about, starships on fire, and how she was in some of the Great Fey Wars, some of the first and second Great Fey Wars. Amazing stories. Okay, these were almost like Valkyries crusading across the multiverse at one point. The Fey are intricately tied to the destiny of a lot of things that are going on out there. But anyhow, everybody, blessings, love, and light. We hope you have a great day, and we'll talk to you again very, very soon. Bye-bye now.